Hey everybody, today we're playing Starter Deck Duel. This is a great evergreen format for those new players that are coming off of the color challenges, but also for players that are either just getting into the game or for anybody that really needs a quick way to hit their daily goals. The daily goals, most of them are two color combination, and so this makes it great because you have 10 decks, one of each color pair, that are balanced and fun. That's a real big key because these are built with foundations cards. The other starter duel decks, the previous ones, weren't as fun. These I'm having a great time with. Today we are going to be playing Arcane Aerialists. Let me know if you want to see like a full deck tech, but I'll just give you a quick preview of this deck. This deck is, like its namesake, all about flyers. Blue-white tends to be kind of a controlling deck. This isn't controlling in the board wipe, reactionary kind of way that we're used to with more advanced Magic decks, but what it does is it gives you the ability to dictate combat, right? So most combat takes place on the ground with most decks. This deck, because you have some blockers here and some fog banks, and Aegis Turtles, which is an 05 creature on the ground, you have the ability to kind of block in the ground and attack in the air where necessary. You have a little bit of removal in Stasis Snare, but again, this removal only hits creatures, so it doesn't control everything. It doesn't hit other enchantments or artifacts. But what it does is it lets you be in control of the game. You kind of say when to attack, you kind of say when to hold back and defend. You have inevitability in that you have more card draw than most decks. So things like Cloud Blazer and Charter Course will give you a card advantage. And of course, the biggest card in the game is Curator of Destinies. 6 mana, can't be countered, 5/5 flyer. This is a card you look at the top 5 cards, put them in 2 different piles, and your opponent gets to give you 1 pile, and 1 pile goes to your graveyard. So you have card draw and inevitability, so you get to dictate combat on your terms. So we're going to go ahead and play a couple games and see how it works. Okay, here we go. So the first hand, this is almost always going to be a keep if you are a newer player. If you have 3 or 4 lands and 3 or 4 spells as a newer player, you should be looking to try and keep those hands. This is going to be a couple of 3 drops and then a 5 drop later on. We have a tap land. This deck has 9 tap lands, so roughly about a third of your mana comes in taps, so you have to kind of think about that and make sure you're using these on the appropriate turns. We'll use them as soon as possible. We go first, so we don't draw a card on the very first turn, so we're going to use a tap land as our only play for this turn and be ready to play these cards on turn 3. We will probably go 1, 2, and 3 in order, but we'll see how the game kind of plays out from there. They were on a mulligan, and so here we're going to do another tap land. Again, we don't have a 2-drop. This will let us scry. Yeah, not sure about this one. This one's going to be tough. I'll put it on the top because we do have Empyrean Eagle, which gives all other flyers +1/+1. I got a 2/1 on the ground, and we're going to start with the 2/3 flyer. It gains a life every time a creature comes into the battlefield. If it stays around, it's going to gain 5-ish life in the course of the game. It also stops them from attacking. So here we can pump them up, or we can try and stop them from attacking. I don't really mind the attacking right now, but my assumption is this is going to have counters on it. So let's attack in the air. We will pass the turn with the idea that we are going to tap down the Gold Fortune Unicorn if they play another creature. We're going to tap down something anyway because we want to get the 2/1/1 fairies, because eventually we are going to pump them up and make them 2/2s. So we will be locking something down from attacking. And he's passing to attackers without doing anything, so we're not going to get a lot of value there, but we are going to lock down their 2/2 for this turn and make them 1/1s. This will also gain us 2 life, and he's going to attack us theoretically for 2, although the 1/1s may stop his attack right now. He went to second main, so he's not going to attack. Yeah, he's going to take away the 2/3. Okay. I don't think that's the greatest plan, but it's certainly something. Eventually, he's going to wish that he had those removal spells back. There are not a lot of removal spells in this format, so they are precious when you do have them. We're going to attack. We're going to play a 1/1 Healer's Hawk. We're trying to spend as much mana. Maybe Lyra was something we could have thought about there, but I did not think about it. Yep, 2/2 flyer. Put a counter. We are going to lock this down this turn. Oh, I'm sorry. It puts a counter on the creature coming in. Okay, so we let him attack. Then we're going to create the 2/1/1s. We're going to block one and not block the other. So we'll tap this guy down. We will get him off the board. Yep, that saves his guy. Doesn't have trample, so the damage doesn't go all the way through. Yep. He has 1 card in hand. If this is a removal spell, specifically something like Banishing Light, this could be rough. I think we're going to kind of go a little bit slower. If I do this, so this will cost 3 to play and equip, and then give me back 1 mana to play Empyrean Eagle at the end of our turn, at our second main phase. I think that's right. And then all flyers get +1/+1. This is going to allow him to attack us this turn. 2 cards in hand, just hoping there's one of them, hoping the other one's not a hard removal. If it is a hard removal, I think they get rid of Empyrean Eagle, attack with everything, and then we play Lyra Dawnbringer, and then they kind of stops their attacks for the turn after. They would need 2 removal spells in a row. He will have 5 mana to pump his whole team +1/+1. I think that's the math he's kind of doing. Yep. Yep. Healer's Hawk has lifelink, so does Lyra Dawnbringer, and so I'm not overly concerned about the life totals. I wish this would have been an action spell and not a land. I'm going to attack with the 3/3 with lifelink because he doesn't have the +1/+1 activation. He could have a giant growth, but that's fine if he does. Yep, he blocks. Is that a giant growth? Okay. We play Lyra. If we play the land, we get to equip something. It's going to be a 3/3, but they're going to attack with everyone if they attack. We have one card, so I think we do this. Make a 3/4. That's 2 giant growths. So, yeah. Playing the land there just signals that you don't have any other tricks. He's going to be able to do +1/+1, although I would do it at instant speed instead, because this just gives away too much information. So that's that, that's that, that's that. Okay, that's what the deck was really meant to do. Put up some roadblocks for the early attackers. This deck can get overrun for sure if you have a really fast start by specifically the green-red deck, the red-black deck, even the white-green deck. They do have explosive starts where they put out a lot of pressure early on, and this deck can get overrun. And you know what? That's part of the rock, paper, scissors balancing of these dual decks. That's certainly part of it. But if you can stop the early rush, usually you have more inevitability. So if we look at this, we have an early blocker. We don't have the blue land, by the way. That is going to be a little bit of a problem. Card draw, but in blue. Yeah. This is something that we are going to have to mulligan, since most of our cards are unplayable, and I don't want to go in with only one removal spell. So we'll go ahead and take a mulligan there. This is a much better hand. We will want to keep this. We will end up leaving one of these on the bottom. And we'll go ahead and be a little risky. Curator of Destinies is just an amazing card. We do need to draw more lands. We did get a 5-drop, so we do have kind of a curve if we get the time. We're not going to block. This is black-red, though. We may not have the time. Yep. He's going to have raid either way. Now he has multiple creatures. We can't even stasis snare to keep him off of raid. We will at least stem some of the damage, but we are going to have to draw some lands. Yep, that's a big time attacker. Oh yeah, that's a big time. 2/3 is not going to cut it here. And so I did talk at the end of the game that we won about getting run over, right? And here it is. So this is what it's like to get run over. If we draw an untapped land, preferably an island next turn, we may be able to stabilize. Cloud Blazer does gain 2 life in addition to 2 cards, so that is a benefit. So, it's Fogbank or Empyrean Eagle. I'm kind of thinking they're about the same. If this is a removal spell, we probably lose either way. Does Fogbank get us anything? No. By the way, when I say no, I mean I don't think so. I know he has Burst Lightnings. He would be able to kick it anyway. He has Downfall. Yeah, he was going to kill either one. We're going to go to 3 here. And if he has a follow-up play, we probably are not having this one. Okay, we did get the untapped land for Cloud Blazer. We are going to need an untapped island to play Curator of Destinies, if that's what is going to happen next turn. Again, this may be a removal spell. If it's not a removal spell, we will be blocking here. It is blocking way down, a 5-drop blocking a 1-drop. Other charter courses make that block even worse because we're not going to be able to have an attacker to just straight up draw the 2 cards. But, yep, we're locked. We're not really locked. Yeah, we have to block. Too many things can go wrong if we don't block. We can charter course. Well, too many things can go wrong even if we do block. So we went down to 4 with a fast player that has direct damage, and that is a well-earned defeat. We'll get another one going really quickly. I love that those were the first 2 games of this deck that we played, right? The first one where we kind of controlled the tempo, and the second one where we never got in control of the tempo. They were attacking every single turn. Even when we had a creature we had to block immediately, they controlled the tempo, and whoever controls the tempo in the game of Magic usually ends up in a much better spot. This is not a greatest hand, but we are going to keep it. We do have the ability to put up an early blocker. These Spectral Sailors are really good in both the early and the late game. And this High Fade Trickster is another really good card. Gives everything that we have flash. We will go ahead and keep it. Tap land is a bit unfortunate here. He's going to go with a Healer's Hawk. And with only 2 lands, because we didn't draw a land there, we will try and trade. This could be blue-white or blue-black. Hopefully we find out soon. Yeah, white-black. Okay. I would love to play the 1/3. This does not block flyers. This is an 0/5 on the ground. So we will go ahead and pass there. We're going to have the same blocking ability here. Now we know we will be able to have the 1/3 flyer next turn, so we don't necessarily have to block like we did last turn. But I think I'm going to go ahead and take the block if it's offered. It's not, because he uses a removal spell, and that is fine. We will go ahead and this 2/3 will use all of our mana a little bit more efficiently. If we draw an untapped land, we will be passing the turn next turn and then doing High Fade Trickster. Yep, that is a tough one. But we're not blocking, so we can attack. We are going to need a... Yeah, we're in trouble here. We're going to need a Stasis Snare and an untapped white land. Also have double strike right now. Yeah, he's got this. The early pressure, again, something that we were not able to overcome. Let's jump into another one right away. If you are watching this video because you are new to Magic, please understand that winning and losing, right? Like, you can't get too high or too low on any one game, any one set of games, any 5 games or 10 games. It's really about putting in the consistency and kind of looking back after the course of 20 games, you know, how your deck is performing, how you like the deck, how everything is working out for you. Over a short course, anything can really happen. You can go 4-0, you can go 0-4 with the same deck. It's really about a longer term process. Okay. We have 3 drops to start. Red-white is usually aggressive. Yep. It's going to be important to remember that this can deal 1 direct damage when we go ahead and play. It doesn't mean that we're not going to play them. It just means that we have to be aware. We will start with the 2/3. If he has a removal spell, he's going to want to use it as soon as possible. He can still attack this turn without it. He can okay. Okay, he didn't. Gives us opportunity to play a tap land. We are going to play the Sarah Angel, I believe, next turn. Unless we draw a 2-drop where we can go Stasis Snare and a Sarah Angel. I assume he's looking to play an untapped land and have the activation to give his whole team +1/+1. I think that's what he's looking for. But if he does, and that's all that he does, he's going to have a hard time attacking with this Dawning Marshal because it'll get blocked. So we'll try and hold him off on attacking. Okay, he has even more creatures. Okay. So I guess that's the plan for next turn. It's not going to work out too well with Stasis Snare. We did draw the 2-drop. This is really a 3-drop. It's 2-drop to play it, but it's also 1 to equip. We could go ahead and play it if we knew that we were going to get in. He is probably not going to block. If he does block, it does the same thing as Stasis Snare, right? So, well, if he does block, it's the same thing as Stasis Snare, but we won't have the option of playing a 3-drop. No, I don't think there's a world where he blocks on purpose. We can make that a 3/4. If he blocks, we get our goal of getting the Dawning Marshal off the battlefield. I don't think he will block, which means that we're going to have the ability to play Stasis Snare. This could be timely reinforcements, and we would be in for a lot of damage next turn. But other than that, I think we're okay this turn. Okay, this is +1/+1 when everything, the team, when he attacks. He has no flyer, so we are going to get a mana back if we want. I think we take care of this while he has just 1 card in hand. I think we're going to Stasis Snare this thing. If we weren't going to Stasis Snare, the right play would probably be Sarah Angel. Put a creature that can attack and defend on the board. let's do some quick math. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If he had timely reinforcements, it would be 10 and 11. It would be 22 damage. And let us then skip one turn of attacking. This Gold Vein pick really makes you want to attack. I'm going to wonder if this is going to be his best choice. This also gives creatures +2/+0, and at some point we're going to attack. He might have been able to swing back. Now we will look to get the mana here. Because we do have 2 blockers entering. I think we're going to want this on Sarah Angel anyway. If this game keeps going, we're going to be attacking with this every turn. This will make it a 3-turn clock. It was a 3-turn clock anyway. Okay. Flying, vigilance, and haste. Okay. I'm going to block instead of doing the math. A lot, but oh, and damage is still on those creatures. Wow, okay, did not think about that, but now I'm gonna do the math. So this is 5, 6, 7. That'll get us down to 6. Do we block? Then we gain a life next turn. If he were to get something like timely reinforcements, we would probably die next turn anyway. Without it, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14. Okay. Okay. Lyra gives all angels lifelink. Okay, well that is going to be this game then. Yep, that was this deck doing what it does. Kind of having the most number of choices in combat. The red-white deck, they were kind of forced to attack. I think I would have done something better with the +2/+0. I didn't do the math myself, but I think there was probably something that could have been done there to look to win that combat. But they had to attack because their deck was only set up for this. This makes me nervous. I don't really like this without the blue, but we do have the first couple of plays. This does help us ramp into angel spells. So this is going to be a keep on the draw, but this is a more risky keep. This is something that we could get blown out. We could draw all blue cards right away, and we proceed to draw the first one. Again, the first one is not too much of a big deal. This is a 1/1. When it dies, it creates a 1/1 black and green insect with flying. So we do have to worry about instant speed sack outlets. Or we don't, because we don't have the creature. We are going to have to draw the right part of our deck here. A tap land is not going to help us next turn at all. No. Yep, blue card is not going to help us. Let me know if you would have kept this hand. It was plains, a 1-drop, a 2-drop, 2 3-drops, and a 5-drop, all in white. Obviously, it did not go our way, and this game is getting out of hand pretty quickly. We do need an untapped blue now, otherwise we're going to fall even further behind. An untapped blue would let us play Stasis now. Playable, but not something that's going to help us come back. Yep. Yep, and we are going to have to concede here. These things give them menace, which means we're not going to be able to block one of them. Let me know what you think in the comments on that keep. My initial thought was that the keep is still correct. I don't love to mulligan when I don't have to. We had 2 lands. We had the angel that taps for white when you play other angels. So we did just need 1 land. I guess we needed 2 lands to play. I think it was Lyra that we had in our hand. Okay, we will go ahead and play the Valkyrie. Where you play these tap lands matter. Okay. The assumption is we're going to play untapped, Valkyrie, play tapped on turn 4, and hopefully have an untapped by turn 5. This could change the equation. If you wanted to make sure you hit this on 4, you would have to play the tap land now so you could have the untapped land for turn 4. But we are still going to go ahead and play the 3-drop because when we play the tap land next turn, we'll have another 3-drop to play. In general, if you can play as much of your mana as possible, that will always get you... I'm sorry, I shouldn't say always. That will, generally speaking, get you to the best results. This is a 2/2 when he has Threshold, which is 7 cards in the graveyard. He gets +1/+1 and Death Touch. Death Touch being the scary word there. When he attacks, he draws a card and discards a card. The blue-black deck does have quite a bit of flash, so that is something to think about. If the turn is passed, this could be a counter spell, but either way, we're going to go tap land, Imperium Eagle, and then attack with a 3/4, depending on whatever card we draw here. Okay. Yep. I mean, nothing changed, so that's what our plan is. If he counterspells, he counterspells. A counterspell, we would still attack because we do have the 2/3 against the 2/2. We do want to get this down before it gets Death Touch, and then we'll have to deal with it on a much bigger threat. This player looks like he may not be there. This is not really something to think about if you had a counterspell. Unless you were thinking about two different cards with flash, a counterspell and a flash creature. If you had a instant speed, you would be playing it right now. So the fact that he's taking this much time to think just means he may have disconnected. Oh. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to try to use all of our mana. This is the 4-drop that we have. If we were to draw an untapped land, we would play one of the 5 drops. One thing we could do for inevitability is to hold up, play the 1-drop, and then activate it for 4 mana, which would help us to draw more cards. That's not what we would do in this situation. We would want to get this off the board before it gets Death Touch. So in this situation, if we have an untapped land, we will just go ahead and drop one of the 5 drops. Lyra being a little bit better, but against the blue-black deck, I'm a little bit scared of the amount of removal they would have. So I think even a Sarah Angel right now on this board, this would be a 6/6. And if they use removal on one of the Empyrean Eagles, then they're not using it on Sarah Angel. So not really a good situation for our opponent. Okay. Disconnects happen. It happens on your side. It happens to your opponent's side. You know, it's one of those things where, you know, it's part of playing online. A little bit land heavy. This, again, it doesn't do anything without a creature first. This is going to be a keep. We are on the play, so we're going to go tap land, nothing, and then turn 2, play it, turn 3, and then turn 4, equip it. If everything goes our way, of course. But this is a keep, but not a ton of action. I would love to see 3 lands and 4 spells rather than the other way around, but you don't get what you want, you get what you get. Okay. Like to see some more action spells. Blue-black has a decent amount of removal, so our cards are not super safe. If we had a lower value 3-drop, we would probably play it first. Okay, that's great. We're really hoping to draw something that we can play next turn, put a little bit more pressure on the board. He's going to draw and discard. Okay. Not exactly what we wanted to draw. We're ready with Spectral Sailor. And we'll play the Spectral Sailor. I think we can offer the trade here. Okay. Gain a life. Yep. Yep. We are not going to attack now. We do need to deal with all of this board. And being out of cards, this is going to help us. Yep. I don't think he wants to make the trade until this thing can tap. Yep, that's not good. I think we offer the trade, mostly because we need to play Charter Course. He still can't tap this turn. Okay, so it really depends on what we have for removal spells here in his hand. If he does have a removal spell and he can clone it, you know, there's some value targets already on the board. Here's another value target for sure. Yep, if he has a removal spell, then we are just going to lose. So I think we play Curator of Destinies. It's a really, really fun card. I hope we get to play it. I hope he doesn't counter it. If he lets it go and then kills it, he will take over the game quite a bit, quite quickly. Okay, so it's going to be 2 piles, 1 face up. The top pile will be face up. The bottom pile will be face down. So we will go ahead and let's do it this way. He might not want to give us a Charter Course, but if we whatever he gives us is not important. If he has a removal spell, he will simply remove this, make a clone of it, and then take over the rest of the game. So, where is this going? Yep, and that's taking over the game. So, good job by my opponent. It didn't matter which cards we put in our hand and in the graveyard when he had a removal spell, because he was going to pick that up. Well, I hope I showed kind of the breadth of the deck. That was 7 games. That was 3 wins and 4 losses. So you can kind of see we were hoping to do a little bit better because I do think that this deck is really strong, but I hope you kind of saw what the deck was trying to do. Early blockers, give you the ability to control combat, make the decisions that really swing combat in a good way. If your opponent is too fast, then the deck does seem to get run over, but you know, it does have a lot of cards to gain just enough life to be able to kind of hold some of that off. These Dazzling Angels do a good job of just getting a little bit of life for all of your creatures. And the tap lands also give you just enough life. Healer's Hawk, you know, they're an early game target. games where you're getting in with her or with Healer's Hawks multiple times, those games end up becoming just easy games. You're the one doing the running over. Do they really help you in the longer run? No, I don't think they do. Cloud Blazer is a great card to kind of catch up because you're getting not only the 2 life, but you're getting the 2 cards as well. But that's all that I have for today. I hope I will see you next time. Have a great day.